funding to help target these things and
We're live.
call them out.
Check the YouTube live
So,
stream. We're
as our
public.
investigation
We're
concludes with this
watching the
particular
Charles
fund,
Hoskin
we'll
live
make some
stream right now.
announcements about
The
it, or
surprise
share it with
AMA.
investigative journalists to let that be the
Going over these
way
scams.
of doxing it.
Wow.
That's just a moment.
Set up
And
a
the problem
team
is
to
that
actively
because there
go
are tens of billions of
and
dollars, and
bust up
you know,
these
this is a
scams.
big ecosystem with lots of people.
Let us know if you're
millions of
watching, if you can hear this too.
and we pride ourselves on this
By the
concept
way, we
of
are
self-governance.
Argyros
We pride
Crypto.
ourselves on this
We
concept
are
of
a
our
stateful
ability to
operator on the Cardano
intervene and solve problems.
network.
And
Ticker
I'd like to
AGC.
believe that we can come together as a community and resolve these things. Now, for my part, I'm a little tired. I'm probably going to take a little bit of time off at some point after we're absolutely sure everything we've pronounced for Alonzo is good to go. And there's still just a little bit more of a push. And then I'll take a week or two off because, to be honest with you, there's just only so much mental abuse and emotional abuse and negativity you can absorb as a human being before you
Wow.
say, all right, I need some time off. Second, we've been going overtime now for 3.5 months, and we just keep adding. The problem is that Cardano's hot stuff and people want it. So I'm usually one of the guys involved in that commercial pipeline, and I'm trying to get it to a point where we have more people to augment and assist. But until that happens, and we're hiring rapidly, we're probably
If you're
gonna hire
talking, I
another
can't hear
100
you.
to 200 people. I'll just have to tank it out.
I
got
said
my
he's
couch back
slowly
there
rolling out these
and all the blessings and goodwills that you
segments,
guys give me,
these updates to
and
the
I'm
Cardano
quite excited
system.
to keep
I was just
hammering
comparing
away
it to
at it.
Voltron,
And
right? There's different parts
at
to
some
it.
point,
Once
then
you
I
get
can
together,
take a nap,
you have the full
take
robot.
a week or two off.
Well,
I'd love to travel
Cardano,
again, you know, especially given that
he's
we're about
slowly
to make
rolling
some
out
very
these
significant
locations like
strategic
decentralization,
investments.
smart
This
contracts,
year,
governance.
we probably will
As
invest around
pieces, he's doing
15 to
slowly,
30 million
deliberately. He's not
dollars
doing
in
the
research and development.
move fast and
It's
break
our
things
largest
method of the
budgetary
tech
item
world, but he's doing
for
things
any
slowly,
single thing.
deliberately.
And that
Because
gets me really
eventually,
excited because I get to
Cardano
open up
is going
lots
to
of
have a
labs
financial
that do
system
things that
built
I
on
never
top of it.
thought
It's going to have a
we'd have a
governance
chance
system
to
built on top of
study,
it.
like
He wanted to get
complexity
this to be done right the
theory,
first time.
and we can think about systems, and we can think about political science, and we can really scale up the economics and game theory
And this is what he's
side of our
talking
research
about.
portfolio. But then also organizational psychology, you know, things about how to run a business operating
Yeah,
system that's
definitely.
truly decentralized, and other things that have been a passion of mine.
Again, you can
There's
have
some
an
side
operating
passions. Like
system
finally, I'm
on the
going to start
Cardano network.
subsidizing mathematical research. We're just about to give a grant to Jeremy Avogad over at Carnegie Mellon.
Cryptocurrency
He's a
3.0.
famous logician, and he's a big member of the lean space. And I'm very excited to start making sure that he can get back to his textbook Lean for Mathematicians. But we have big plans to invest heavily in lean and get that framework where it needs to go so that we can build up the formalization of mathematics in a programming language. And I think lean is the perfect language and the perfect project for that endeavor. And I believe Jeremy is the perfect professor to bootstrap and spearhead that work. Now, that's just the beginning. Over the course of my life, I'll probably put in tens to hundreds of millions of dollars in that effort alone, because it's unfinished business from a prior life of mine before I entered the cryptocurrency space. And I think it's
unfinished business.
something that would be a good legacy for mathematical research and for the next generation of math grad students that come and want to solve great problems. Mathematicians are getting too specialized, and they're starting to not know each other anymore or read each other's work. And
that's
it's
true.
about time we bring that back. That's an example of a passion project.
Math
Another
is
passion
life.
project of mine is
Who gives the
micro-mechanization.
answers to the universe?
Many of you
Micro-mechanization.
know I'm a farmer and also a rancher. I'm finishing up buying a ranch up in Wyoming, but getting 400 bison with that, and that's going to be fun. But on the farm, I grow hay, and I have a John Deere tractor and a Massey Ferguson tractor, and they're horrendously expensive, and they're tremendously useful as farm equipment. But there needs to be disruption, innovation there in the developing world if we're ever going to mechanize things. And so it'd be really cool if you could 3D print a lot of this stuff and you could manufacture it local. So one of the cool things about having a relationship with the University of Wyoming is that there's a big ag tech program there, and they think about these types of things. So I'm going to be visiting that university quite a bit. And that's
By the
another
way, for those of
example
you
of
who are
a
joining us, we
passion
are
side
Argoros
project that
Crypto,
I'll
stake
be
pool
funding is
operator on
how
the
do
Cardano
you
network,
build
listening to
equipment
Charles
that's very useful in
Hoskinson's
rough and rugged
private AMA.
locations and you can locally manufacture it without a very sophisticated supply chain. Now, on the Africa side in particular, we finally got to a point
We
where
were going to
we
do
can
our
do more
first
than just
live stream
push through
introducing
government relations.
us,
And as we start
the
closing these
stake
foundational
pool,
government deals, really we need to start doing a pull
and go
model
over
where
some of
we
the
build
bullet points of the
consumer
Cardano
products.
network.
We were
Charles
waiting for
Hoskins
both
is doing an amazing
Prism and
job
for
right now.
Cardano to reach a certain level
Africa
of
was definitely going to be
maturity
one of the topics
and also
to
Catalyst
discuss.
to reach a certain level of
Yes.
maturity before that made sense. And we also wanted to approach that with a partner-driven
But I
process.
think we'd
So
still
we have
add
our relationship with ICE
more to that
Addis,
part of the
and we're just
conversation
going
to
to
those who
keep
are
deepening that relationship
new
and
to
keep strengthening
Cardano, who
it,
are
keep
just
putting more
starting to
money
look
in because they
into
have
Cardano.
tentacles into 25 different countries in Africa. They've been around for quite a bit of time.
So stay tuned after this, and
Above and beyond that, I think we're probably going
we'll
to
get
create a
into
line item
our
around the
discussion.
$10-20 million per year for strategic investments in infrastructure, training, and project development, commercial development. And
You
again,
hear
Africa
there's
centric.
constant
So this will be
development.
the second largest line item in our budget as we enter 2022. One of the reasons why we were a little resistant to doing that earlier was that COVID hit. And we were just about to start that tour. I was going to go to Uganda and Tanzania and many other places and meet lots of heads of state and begin that process. But then everything closed down. Unfortunately, because of policy decisions of the United States from this administration and prior administration and the European Union, there doesn't seem to be a strategy for how to vaccinate the developing world. So that first means coronavirus is here to stay permanently.
It is the new
Every
flu.
year it'll come back with a new strain like the flu.
The Wu
hopefully
flu,
year
if you
by
will.
year we get a little bit more immune to it.
And
Hopefully
we've
medicine
been banned
evolves at
from
a nice
YouTube.
rapid
Well,
pace.
demonetization, guys. It was
This
been
was
nice while we
easily
had it.
solved with a
One and
buy
done,
one, get
baby.
one free program. Every
Support
developed
the node by
country
staking an
that
AGC.
bought a vaccine, donated a vaccine.
Support
to the developing world,
decentralization
there'd
by
be ample
supporting
supply
AGC.
for everyone in Africa, South America, Southeast Asia, and other places. Then we could vaccinate the whole world and end this pandemic once and for all. It's not going to happen. So this is going to hit many nations in Africa particularly hard. And there's nothing I can do or no one can do to resolve it because this is the provenance of geopolitical policy and nation states, not entrepreneurs. So we'll do our best, and I'll still go on a great tour. It'll be a little harder, and it'll have to be the second half of this year, and that's okay. But we'll still make these foundational investments and be strategic and careful about them. We just wanted to make sure that we first got a collection of competency, regional credibility, and a lot of operators who exist in those jurisdictions and understand fact and fiction, understand timelines, can actually help us create realistic strategies.
And we're back.
Or else we end up doing the
Back
same
from the
thing that Bill
dead.
Gates did with the Bill and
COVID's
Melinda
not
Gates
that bad,
Foundation.
ladies and gentlemen.
He dumped
It's only a little
tens
death.
of billions of dollars and got suboptimal
I joke.
returns.
COVID's horrible.
A little
All
death
your
leads
money,
to
no matter how
innovation,
rich
just
you
like
are,
what happened during the
running
bubonic
around
plague.
trying to save
And the
world.
loss of an
All these
American
smart-
president.
That's not what we do.
All
to
these smart
find
people went away
Business
to hiding,
structures
and
that
we
work
got
for
physics out of
everybody
it.
that are sustainable. And
Physics
if they
and
are
the new
going to
Enlightenment
stick around,
era.
they allow themselves to grow and propagate and make the world better for each person. Okay, now that's my update. Not too bad, almost 20 minutes of updates. Let's get to your questions, huh? Right here. Price obsession is a disease. ADA is one of the most stable because the community relax. You know, I will comment on this. I have noticed an unhealthy obsession with price.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Everybody
Floor's the limit, baby.
if I have magic levers I can pull to make the price go
10x
up,
their
or
money
I
in like
pull
in
and
a
somehow the
day.
price goes down. That's not how any of this
Should have
works.
got in
These are
last year
markets.
around July.
I don't know why the price
Didn't
goes
even know
when it
about this
does, but
last
it
year in
does.
July.
Second, I've noticed an unhealthy obsession with people
This is
asking
a
us to try to
long-term
manipulate
project,
the price of
and,
data,
we're in it for the
particularly
long
through
haul.
the process of burning tokens. Now, I don't know why people think there's some giant pile of ADA somewhere that is not distributed that I can just push a button and burn. It's not possible. All the ADA that is circulating belongs to people. Literally every ADA that you see on CoinMarketCap when it says total supply is assigned to a human being.
Huh.
So if you want to burn ADA,
I didn't know
have
that.
to go to one of those human beings and ask them to burn it.
Oh, yeah,
But yet I'm
nothing
asked
that is
every single
pre-mined on this
day over
network.
Twitter. It's kind of strange.
Though a little bit, a portion of the
Favorite
transaction
Miyazaki
fee
movie?
does go into a
Spirited Away,
treasury.
probably, or My Neighbor Totoro.
And with
My-
analysis,
gamer word Totoro.
With the Catalyst system, other voting mechanisms on the network, that's how you can fund these projects.
And Totoros.
Yeah, he spoke about how do we fund like innovation on the chain? How do we keep this going? Let's create a treasury system.
Thoughts on the MENA
You know, chat, you're making me realize why Hoskinson
Hoskinson
looks there and has to selectively choose his question. You guys have some pretty crazy chat going on.
They're still not in market with it.
I also know how Twitch streamers with no viewers are now.
Remember, Vasily Zikas was
it's
there,
personality, right? It's all that counts.
Have been in that call as well. Everything that they've written is reasonable, although recursive snarks are still a deeply theoretical artifact, and there are great papers like Halo Infinite and others, but they also tell you very clearly that there's still a lot of unsettled theory in unsettled application. So I always get skeptical when the science is not settled about people who proclaim that they can create the ultimate blockchain for it. That said, they're doing the standard Silicon Valley thing. They've raised a lot of money.
To my thing?
Ravikant, I think, is one of their investors, and they've gotten a lot of buzz. And yeah, we can't argue with the value proposition. They're basically saying you can have full node security for 22 kilobytes forever.
What is he talking about?
No matter how big the chain gets, how many transactions occur in the chain. That's a pretty remarkable value proposition. So we think a lot about this topic, and we're setting up a Snark lab at University of Edinburgh, and this is going to be one of my items, that $15 to $30 million research agenda, probably in the $1 to $3 million, depending upon the graduate students, postdocs, and professors associated with it, and also the engineering side that's associated with
minor COVID.
And recursive snarks is one of the things that's in the research agenda. And given that Stanford is now writing about it, we're right at the right time. Dan Bonnet kind of stands out and just waits a little bit. It comes in like a ninja, and right when it's getting good. You saw that with homomorphic encryption and a lot of other things. And so the fact that he's entered the space tells you that the next 24 months to 36 months, we're going to see a systematic series of breakthroughs on both engineering and also on theory. So I don't think anything they're doing is unreasonable. And I understand the team is doing a borrow instead of build strategy, which is why they like Ouroboros, the same for Polkadot. And there's nothing wrong with that. But having
I don't think this is going to be like the
dealt
VHS
with this technology ourselves, I will give a little bit of caution that be careful with timelines and proclamations. We're one of the few companies in the world that actually has implemented a snark. We created something called Sonics, and we implemented Rust.
Blu-ray now.
That exercise took us 18 months with a team of Rust engineers.
But who knows? That could be wrong.
Very good, doing nothing but that.
Maybe it would just be Cardano.
So it is really hard to do this code well. And
I think Cardano has positioned itself to
implement it at a standard
long-term
where it actually
player
works
in this space. And I think there's also going to be other networks out there that try to do something.
Hi, Charles. Is there going to be a public testnet for developers so that any developer can get started? Yes, that's exactly what I announced. I thought people would be super excited.
I'm excited for public testnet.
Articles right after the announcement that Goguen was delayed.
Yeah, guys, it's part of the channel.
I could ever say go fuck yourself in the loudest tone.
Functions out there.
That was a
live streaming,
so proud,
giving you some insights.
Everybody was incredibly excited, and then we just see that
what things feel funky.
Yeah,
what
it's coming in May. That's the whole point of the Pioneers testnet. It's public. You guys can use it to deploy your applications. I wish I could give you more time on that testnet because people legitimately need time to build up these things. So that's the point. That's the intention.
Mm-hmm.
How was the call with Novogratz? Novogratz reached out to me over Twitter. He said, "You'll talk to me on Monday." And I said, "Well, I'm a busy guy.
Right.
Talk to my secretary." And let's see
it's like Charles his tweet. Do you know who
We're
I
right
am?
now in the middle of a lot of releases, so we haven't had the phone call yet. But we will. I'm happy to talk to him. And
he's selling that
talk about ADA or anything.
Oh yeah. NFT.
You guys take a bit too much stock here. Novogratz was Joe Lubin's roommate in Princeton. He's an Ethereum guy. That's through and through. So maybe we can convince him that Cardano's an actual real project. I think he's probably drinking from the Ethereum Kool-Aid.
Ethereum Kool-Aid.
A scam, and I'm a pathological liar and a horrible human being. He's read the books that I've read.
Like to give a shout out to all that North Korean water. So delicious.
Hello from Iraq. We
Gosh,
love you,
there's no
Charles.
pollution up there.
Iraq is one of the prettiest places. It was actually the home of Babylon. Ruins are there. I actually have cuneiform tablets right there.
He's also, if you notice, got Thanos' glove right behind him.
Charles, did you know the mic that you're using, the same mic that Michael Jackson used to record the vocals on Thriller? I did not.
Us away?
I pray I don't suffer the same.
Well, he just said he can't. He's not going to snap away Ada from people's accounts. Nice piece of trivia. So
yep.
Maybe he's a benevolent.
Market cap. Every single Ada is a person's possession.
Research going. For those of you who don't know, that's a trusted hardware platform. And actually, we're trying to see if we can couple it with RISC-V. And that's currently a project out of the University of Wyoming. So we're at the stage where we went as far as we could go with the local faculty. And we said we should hire somebody, bring them into the lab. So we found a great gal, and I believe they're still in negotiations for her to come and start. And actually, part of that $15 to $30 million budget will be setting up an industrial research center that does something like that. But we're also likely going to use the University of Wyoming for a smart contract engineering institute. But we're not quite where we need to be for that. So I'll wait a little bit of time. You need to get on Lex, then Rogan to battle all these credibility attacks. I'm going to be on Lex Friedman. He's asking me to come on as soon as April.
Nice.
I told him June. I'm actually got to email him back. Great guy, and I'm excited to go on a show. And, Rogan, we can get on. It's just a question of strategy and timing. I want to wait for the rebrand of IOHK to IOG, and also just a little bit more done in Cardano in our projects so that we can actually have a nice funnel for all the people come into.
Talk about the value.
That's a 20 million person audience. So you have to be a bit strategic about
that makes
the
sense.
way of handling that.
You look like a dwarf, but you think like a damn genius. It explains the glove. It was dwarf made, wasn't it?
Well, those dwarfs in the movies were huge. Remember that. They were not like the dwarfs in the comic books.
Charles, have you ever been to Poland? Yep, Krakow and Warsaw.
I have not. I'd like to give a shout out to all the Polish people out there. Your food's delicious.
What Litecoin partnership looking like? I'm waiting for a LIP to be written. The team that was going to do that, they left and started their own company. We went to that team and said, well, we'd love to give you guys some business. And they wanted to charge me an astronomical amount of money.
Wow.
After I'd paid for their PhDs and had them work at my company for years. So we said, we'll just do it ourselves. Unfortunately, that slowed us down a little bit for writing the LIP. But I do have somebody for it. It'll just take a little bit longer, and then the Litecoin community can discuss it.
He's like, I will break
use that same interpretation to go and
I
write
paid
one
for your PhDs.
For other
I made you.
I paid you. I brought you into this world.
The life of a
I can take you out.
You never forget the good things you do for people.
Yeah, do it, Charles. You will assimilate into the Cardano network, whether you like it or not. It's not that bad here. Come on.
Water's warm. And the stakes, 5% HEC.
Mr. Hoskinson, what video game IP do you own and plan to work on one day? I own Legends of Valor. I bought the IP for that.
Really?
I'm also going to create some original titles, and I'll license some things in the Pathfinder world and so forth. We're going to have a lot of fun. What I'd like to do is resurrect the Gold Box engine and clean it up, for like Gateways, Savage Frontier, and Treasures of Savage Frontier, and keep it in a retro sense. So keep that same taste and feel, but then make it obviously ready for 4K.
Is going to implement really the blockchain on that?
And, nice visuals and music. And obviously, you can have a much.
This live stream was brought to you by water, keeping you alive every day.
And it'd be a lot of fun to do Gold Box style games in the Pathfinder setup.
Shout out to water.
So we'll see what we can do there. But honestly, it's just not a priority of mine. I'm just so damn busy with everything else.
I wonder if he's pulling these
In the
questions
chat,
from
if
chat.
you have any questions for us, yeah, he's reading his chat. If you have any questions for us, feel free to post them. And, we'll read them out here on the stream live.
From Dr. Michael Lesser, Charles, it's my birthday. Could I get a happy birthday wish? Yes, Dr. Lesser, happy birthday to you.
His birthday wish? He was asking Charles to give him a wish.
Hey, man. Could work. Maybe better than a comet.
Once again, for those who are tuning in, we are Agros Crypto, a stake pool operator on the Cardano network. AGC is the ticker. Listening to
Charles, I grew up
Hoskinson's
with Sierra
AMA.
Games. Any love? Well, yeah, Freddie Farkas, right? Sierra Games Online. And they did a lot of adventure games. And I think Sierra also was the publishing studio for Lords of Magic. When and where might someone apply for your coming game development studio?
Wyoming, for those who don't
I
know,
haven't
is one of the
named it
states
yet,
that passed
but I already have
cryptocurrency
several projects
legislation.
that I really want to get
They
started.
are crypto friendly.
Unfortunately, I put it on hold because I had the Cardano stuff, but also because my brother wants to start a biotechnology company. And so we're right now starting that and setting that up as a Wyoming-based C corporation and getting all the IP and all that other stuff. And, that'll be set up around May. So the game company had to take a back seat, but we'll get around to it. What sort of practices do you do to maintain yourself amongst all the bullshit? Just to show you how bad things have gotten, I also use float tanks, isolation tanks, and I tell you, it's one of the best things you can do to de-stress. The facility that I use for float tanks and isolation tanks is literally next door to the King Supers where 10 people were brutally murdered.
Wow.
I almost went that day to go float.
And you would have been floating in complete silence, not even knowing, gotten out, felt refreshed, and looked next door.
Where 10 people got brutally murdered. And then you tell people 10 people have been brutally murdered, and then you have people on Twitter yell at you about it and say "When Moon."
It's like the Twilight Zone. You come in and all of a sudden, like,
you're
what the hell's going on?
While you're giving.
How long was I out for?
People dying.
There's Cardano bad.
Fucked up and wrong with the world, and no social consequences to the people who do these things. None whatsoever. We live in an age
when you're at the top,
everybody just says stuff.
Getting a lot of
it doesn't matter if it's true.
It's a good sign. If they weren't trying to take down Cardano.
I really don't.
Then they wouldn't have seen it as a threat to
then it escalates.
Ethereum Maximus,
and it escalates, and eventually people get deranged.
Some of these apps, dApps that are created on Ethereum network. Those same apps, they can transfer on to Cardano.
Are we just going to live in a world of mass shootings? Are we just going to live in a world where death threats are okay? When people mail you white powder and say it's anthrax, that's okay.
Ethereum
are we going to live in a
over
world
to Cardano, not miss a step?
People, half the people in the world hate the other half the people for reasons that aren't even true? Is this honestly where we're going to go? Turn the other cheek doesn't work in this scenario.
True.
There's something just seriously amiss and wrong.
I mean, that's just the value proposition of Cardano. It's an amazing project and platform.
I mean, how can you not get behind someone that's this emotional, this compassionate about people and the world?
Well, yes, he is considered kind of the figurehead for the system, but once Cardano 2025 comes
your
out,
biotech gaming
it's hands off. He's taking his hands off the wheel. It's going to be up to
absolutely. I mean, everything we do.
People like us,
stakeholders,
some pitch. I'm a sales.
People like us, stakeholder operators, and people that have
Cardano stake on the network.
Like hopefully you do.
I mean,
looking at you. You.
This right here is Chateau Cardano. So there's this guy lives out in Napa Valley in California, and he's a big Cardano fan. So Ed said, "Hey, I'm just gonna name my wine after Cardano."
Building up an ecosystem, a community.
And then I'm like, Ed, we need to get your wine on the blockchain.
Cardano
we need to get a QR code right here, and let's do a supply chain.
Plastered somewhere. You're gonna laugh.
Georgia.
Like,
how about that?
Funny. You're going to walk in that business.
Everything we do, there's going to be
and they're going to be able to take
company. I'd love to do NFTs.
You'd be able to transact
currencies and other
with their dataless wallet.
On the biotech side, we may do EMR.
Well, for those of you who are
And it
not
might be
aware, there
something to get
is no
into, but I'm not
dataless
sure. But
wallet or
anything we
Yoroi
do that
wallet
involves a supply
on a
chain
mobile
will almost
platform.
certainly be
A couple of
blockchain
weeks
based.
ago,
But yeah, it's just
was
who
it
I
last
am.
month when the
It's what I
Catalyst system
do.
was being rolled out? A lot of people got their ADA taken away from them. Millions of ADA worth of, well, millions of dollars worth of ADA because they downloaded a fake app on the Google Play Store. They put in their seed phrase, and within the hour had their entire wallet taken away from them. Stolen.
Geniuses.
Yeah, that's some heartbreaking stuff right there.
Yeah, real heartbreaking. I cry into my millions of ADA. I mean,
Abbraccio a tutti
I'm just kidding.
dall'Italia. Si.
Again, if you're tuning in, we're watching Charles Hoskin's surprise AMA. We are Our Heroes Crypto, ticker AGC. Should delegate, become a part of the movement.
What's amazing to
Decentralization
me,
very
with these
soon.
live streams, we have people.
Be a part of
We are
history.
a growing stake
My
pool,
project, in this
growing
case
stake pool,
HBAR,
guys.
which is centralized garbage because it's patented, is far outperforming ADA in scalability and TPS. So is Amazon Web Services. You're about the same. And they're already working with the biggest African bank. What are your thoughts? This is a Charles Hoskinson AMA and a Cardano-centric thing, right? What the fuck do you think I'm going to say? Honestly, why are you here? What do you want to
Charles
accomplish?
got triggered.
Like,
what the hell?
Let's have an existential moment.
Good for you,
Okay?
Charles.
You take a step back from the keyboard and really just look at yourself.
How
in the
can
mirror
you
and
go
say,
against the likes
"What
of
did I
Amazon,
accomplish?"
Charles?
Let me.
Congratulations, you got me to talk about you. Was that what you wanted?
Why
to
doesn't he do a
accomplish?
300
that
or
what you wanted to
what a
do?
Batman?
Are you going to go to the
Do you
coffee shop
bleed,
now?
Do you
Amazon?
Order your
bleed?
latte and tell all your friends.
Or a Superman?
I cannot
Do you
believe I
bleed?
got Charles to talk about me and my project.
Charles, don't show up when they have
Boy, that's
the signal
exciting.
up.
I did good. So many people are going to support my project now and buy my tokens. And I'm going to be a millionaire because they're buying my tokens because I got Charles to talk about it. I mean, honestly, what do you want, people? Is this really life for you? You could ask any question. We could talk about anything. I could talk about this beautiful 3D rendering of Sierpinski's triangle. That's like in a pyramid. We can talk about all kinds of stuff. But what you want to talk about is
So I don't know if he's reading super chats
no
or
desire
if he's
to
just
talk
reading the
about,
chats in general.
because it's patented.
I
And
think
I've
it might
already
be super
told you
chats,
that's
by
my
the way,
position. Now you can
but what it
disagree
looks
with
like on
that
the screen.
position. That's great. And you obviously do. So you hold it. Good for you. But why do I care?
Oh, is this Twitter?
Microsoft has a lot of great
on
government
different
relationships.
forums, I've been
They
seeing
have
this
lots of
H
intellectual
bar
property and
being
patents
thrown around
when
a
they
lot.
open source.
I've only heard
When
about
they
it
open
today.
Source, like Microsoft did with
Yeah,
.NET.
I don't know what that actually
Then I
is.
took .NET seriously. I said, yeah, I'd be willing to do a .NET project when it was proprietary. I didn't know how anything about that ecosystem. I'd never written a single line of F# or C#. The minute they went open source, I actually wrote an F# program. So think that through and ask
The
yourself,
biggest
why
African
does
bank?
one
What does
person
that
in the
mean? Is
world
there a
have the
centralized
ability to
African
stop someone
bank?
from using that product?
There could be.
It's defensive. I've never applied for a defensive patent. I don't get it sometimes. I really don't. What people want to achieve, what they want to accomplish.
So many trolls in his chat.
Probably.
Yeah, I just saw that go by.
Just bought HBAR. Thank you. You are welcome. Good for you.
Why are you here, my
Man.
chat? Man,
Why do you think that affects me? Why do you think that
Chat,
bothers
can
me?
we get some
You
F's
people
for
go, "I
Charles
sold all
chat,
my
please?
ADA," or
F's
"I
for
bought
Charles
ADA,"
chat.
or "I bought this." Compare and
Oh, man,
contrast.
you have the
I
trolls
don't
just
make
coming
money
in
if you
overrating.
buy ADA.
The trolls, they live
Money
under the
if you
bridge.
sell ADA.
You must pay the
Okay,
troll
you're not buying
toll.
ADA from me. It's not like I have a vending machine with a big ADA
Pay the
symbol on
troll
the side.
toll
You
to
go
get
put
into this
$1 in,
boy's
you buy
hole.
your ADA, and then somehow I get that dollar. That's not how this works. And if you buy HBAR, it has no impact on my life.
Of course
At
it
a Sky,
doesn't.
none.
But is HBAR on
Oh my lord,
Coinbase?
people. Ah.
Let me take a look.
Charles, can you solve a
is
Rubik's
HBAR
Cube?
on
Yes,
Coinbase.
but not as fast as a mantis shrimp.
Let's see. HBAR is on Coinbase. Oh, nope, it's not supported. Not supported on Coinbase.
What are your thoughts about Definity and Dominic Williams? I've called Dominic way back in the day. We used to talk on Skype years ago. And then he raised a bunch of money for
Look at this,
Definity,
February.
and then
this was
they
last
decided
year.
they were going to
Google
be a
joins
Haskell
the
science
network,
shop, and
the
so they started
governance
hiring Haskell
council.
developers, and
Yeah.
they started hiring
Okay.
scientists. What really pisses
For
me
those of
off
you
about
who
Definity is they've been
are
trying to
into
poach some of my
decentralization,
people,
why
and so they're on my
would
shit list
anyone
forever.
be interested
If you try to
in
actually
Google
poach my
joining their
scientists or
governance
engineers,
council concerning how
we're
they
not on
treat
good terms.
people
So
across their different
I'm
platforms?
sorry, Dom. I'm going to now try to poach your people, and that's
Oh,
just the
you
way it
said
is.
something that we don't agree
My
with?
people
Yeah,
don't
you can't
leave
use our
usually
token
because they
anymore.
like working
Deleted.
at the company. We do interesting work, but it's a discourtesy to attempt to do these things. And I have no idea why you do that. You're out there in California, living the Valley Dream. You raised $150
Valley
million.
Dream.
Why would you do that? But nothing but nice.
Why you want to live in the valley? Ew. That's so 1980s and early 90s.
Listen, Cobra, Cobra, Cobra Kai. Cobra, Cobra, Cobra Kai. Again, we're AGC.
Also, porn valley is what they call it.
And tell me, well, I'll leave that for another video.
Yeah, this right here was the tweet.
Oh, there we go.
The person that mocked the death of 10 people at the supermarket.
He's like, I sold
Where
that
is your
tweet.
complaint against that person? Where is it? Why am I the bad guy in this one? Fighting for people who had been
But he
murdered.
wanted that tweet and he sold it.
Why is that acceptable? What social consequence will that person face? Yeah, I'm sorry. We live in a world where there needs to be reciprocity.
There needs to be reciprocity.
So where is it, Bobby? It's not there. You friends with Elon? I've met him a few times, but no, I'm not friends with him. I barely know the guy. He barely knows me. If I lived in Austin or California, I think we'd rub shoulders
always
more.
Sunny, sometimes Colorado.
But for Elon, always Mars.
Interesting
guy.
Not
even on this planet, man.
How will you celebrate D equals
that
0?
Is correct,
I'll do a
guys.
live stream with you guys. We'll celebrate it together.
0, which
means oh, good. Well, that means we'll be live as well. All of us.
100%. Yeah.
Where did the sales
event.
proceeds go? I did a live stream. This is another thing. I do a live stream. I donated it to the people who were murdered alongside $2,000.
How Cardano initially started. It started as a federation.
So I donated $9,000. I raised $7,000.
Mainly controlled
and then people said I sold the tweet for profit.
IOHK,
and, I didn't donate. Other entities. I live streamed the actual donation.
That started the network.
We live in.
Slowly over time,
you
they've
can
been
see how
giving power
frustrated
over to the
I've
stake
become.
pool operators. And what I mean giving power is they're giving these
Totoro,
nodes,
exactly.
Nodes, ability to mint
I
blocks.
purchased at Narita Airport. I flew back.
So they did this.
Came with me business
first
class.
of all, to have
table.
reliability on the network.
They almost made me buy another ticket.
As the network became more reliable, as these stake pools became, they stayed online longer. Then there's more, confidence within the system that they can hand over processing power.
So this is the boogeyman that isn't. I'm scared of investing money in the power of quantum computing being able to attack and take funds in the future. Your thoughts on quantum computing and how it could be a POS or negative?
Charles has mentioned
I assume you're saying positive or negative in the space.
Proof,
I'm not concerned.
An amazing thought.
Next 5 years, we'll clean all that up. Hey, Charles, have you ever owned an Oliver tractor? I do have one, actually. Charles, what's happened with the quant stamp audit? I think it's already out. Actually, let me ask Charles Morgan right now. I think they're done with the audit, and the report should have already been publicly released. But I am going to ask our director of cybersecurity and Jer during this live stream. Just got to open up Slack.
Got to open up Slack. It's
virtualized, so it just takes a second to open up. Okay, scrolling over. See, this is some real-time prodding, right? Okay, direct message, Charles Morgan. All right, and then Jer Maroney. All right. Whatever happened with the quant stamp audit? Could you send me? Oopsie. Could
No,
you
we should be
send
able to know
me
what
the
time
final
on March
report?
31st that it will reach
Okay.
100%, D
So
equals
as soon as
0.
Jer and Charles get back to me, and it's Saturday, so I don't know if they will,
98%
I will
there.
reply back with the report. And if it was never publicly released, I'll make sure it is. But my understanding was that it was released because we tend to release those reports about a month or two after reconciliation.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm. Much love for you here in Germany. Well, thank you, Game Dude. I love Germany. Charles, do you play any instruments? Yes, I do. I play the piano poorly. What's your favorite genre of music? All over the place. I love classic rock, especially Boston and CCR and
Everyone
so
loves
forth.
Boston.
I'm
Everyone
not
loves
into country
CCR.
these days because I'm doing a lot of farming and
Credence!
stuff, and you just absorb that through your tissue because that's what happens.
But obviously, the superior music type's
And
metal.
I also listen to like in the Lambo synth wave and things like that.
Synthwave. Very Euro. And then there's the music that Joko likes. That weird 8-bit Korean kid music. It's awkward.
You insult me. I don't know what that is.
I don't either.
Charles,
I made
how
it
do you
up, but I'm
find
sure it
investors for a
exists.
project? Actually, a really interesting question. So, 3 days ago, we had a VC meeting with the Art Tano guys. They came on in, and they actually came in about a week or two ago. And I said, come back when you know how to do a business model canvas. And I actually
Okay.
gave them a class on Coursera. I said, take this class. It'll teach you how to do a business model canvas. Do a canvas. Let's talk around the whole thing. So they came back and they did their presentation again. And I had my VC.
All right. We're back. I'm killing the live stream now on our stream as it no longer looks like it's going to pertain mostly towards where we want to go now. But this is Our Heroes Crypto. We just listened to the live surprise AMA from Charles Hoskinson. A quick recap for those that didn't have the privilege of checking it out is everything is going well. We're moving forward as expected. Charles is getting the obvious death threats and hate, but you know you succeed when you have haters.
At the top, you're gonna get a lot of attention. Try to take you down.
Absolutely true. Now, I believe we have our website over here, ourheroescrypto.com. We're going to go ahead and navigate to that now. Looks like I'll be the one doing that. Sorry, guys. First time. Be gentle. Whoa. Oh. ourheroescrypto.com. Stake with us. We're here to decentralize everything. Well, or be a part of the movement to have a fully decentralized Cardano network filled with smart contracts, filled with NFTs, filled with all of your money. I joke on that one.
Filled with blackjack and
The other things.
and other things. Okay, forget about the other things. Forget about the blackjack. It's ADA, NFTs, tokens, amazing futuristic utopian society.
So we know that a lot of you are on YouTube. In fact, I wouldn't even be surprised if nobody sees this except for us right now. But eventually, one day, we're here to help. If you're like us and you found out about Cardano and you see decentralization as the next big thing, join us. Be a part of it. You know, get ADA. Get something from Coinbase. Grab a Daedalus wallet. You know, join in. Stake your ADA. Have it work for the system. Continue to go through. Look it up. Really look up Cardano. Look up Charles Hoskinson. Look up everything that's happening in the cryptocurrency space in regard to this, and you'll see what's going on. If you're someone that just likes to make money, look at the potential of investing in ADA specifically. Cryptocurrency, it's a huge buzzword these days. You're hearing it everywhere. I could probably ask anyone what Bitcoin is, and they'll know that they've heard of Bitcoin, which means they're definitely going to have heard of some of the other altcoins that are coming out and are going to be huge. invest. Come with us. But we're here to help you. If you want to go to the actual stake pool like us and run your own stake pool, uh, obviously, I'm not going to set it up for you, but I can show you how to go through and all the hurdles you're going to jump through, especially people that are new. Now, I wouldn't suggest anybody to create a staking pool just by a video on YouTube thinking, oh, I can just point and click, copy and paste. There is a certain level of knowledge you're going to want to have coming in. Luckily, I'm a network engineer, security expert, so it's not really that far of a stretch. And then Linux, Unix-based operating systems, once you get that down, everything becomes easy. But if you're someone that's run a web page or web apps, this is something that's going to be very simple for you to actually get going. But there are a few little caveats that most people don't mention when you're starting. We can definitely help with that. Join the chat if you have general questions or if you just want to hang out when we stream. We're going to try to standardize our times. Come on in. Let's do that as well. But we'll go over the crypto news in the Cardano space. We have a third member who will go over real raw data if that's something that you want to get into, looking at numbers and futures, and really being able to break it down on an investor level or on an analytical level in the dollar and cents area.
Just a little caveat to that. Not trading advice.
Oh, yeah.
Advice, educational and entertainment purposes only.
Also,
but,
we are not
come
cats.
Learn.
Please, by all means.
It's important. Come learn.
Whoop.
Jump in the deep end of the pool.
Oh, gotta love that COVID vaccine. But for today, that's live stream number 1. You guys have a wonderful week.